So hi and welcome back to our session on the Brahmaviharas, which is the which lies in right thought or right intention or harmonious thought, the second aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path. So as we have learned before, I'll just repeat some that karma is intention in Buddhism, because before you can put out an action, which means karma, you need to have an intention. An intention is really our deep-seated beliefs. That's why we act out with that intention, because we have certain belief about something, right? So, so what the Buddha is saying in this second aspect of the Eightfold Path is, instead of using that belief to act in the daily life, and that belief is usually the belief in a solid, substantial, unchanging self, yeah. So instead of acting from that belief system, why not act from this Brahmaviharas, which is actually, let's look at them here. So the first of the Brahmavihara is metta, which is, I mentioned, love. Love would be better rather than just loving kindness. Because when you truly feel this Brahmavihara, like you really touch it in your meditation, it really feels like a very strong feeling of love. It's not like love for an object. It doesn't need an object to arise for you to have this love. It's really this center of your heart, which in Hinduism they call it the heart chakra. There's a lot of vibration in that center, which then comes down to your abdomen, and this very strong sense of love, which coincides with the second jhana, which is piti, which it vibrates a lot, and you can feel it from the center of your heart, the heart chakra, vibrating down the abdomen and then lifting you up in that sense, right? So it's not just like what we think, well, let me act with love and kindness in the world. It's not just that. So this will be the opening of your heart chakra actually in your meditation. And this is more powerful than us trying to act lovingly, kindly. Like fake it till you make it lah, right? In my last session, I was saying, yeah. Okay, so let's move on. Then the second aspect of the Brahmavihara is actually compassion, having love around painful feelings. Yeah, so compassion, as Sharon Salzberg say, it is like having this space of love around painful feelings. Okay, so compassion has an element of pain in it, some bitterness about it. It's not just like love. Love, you really send out this sense of love towards another. But compassion, it's when you feel someone's pain, you feel your own pain, and you feel this space of love and kindness to yourself wrap around it, right? That is compassion. Compassion comes with an element of pain, and because we can soften to our own pain, and that is when we can really soften to other people's pain, right? So most of the time we just want to push pain away, but when you truly see the first noble truth, suffering, when you truly see that, you might have a tear in your eye. You might tear in your eye, because why do I say that? When you truly see it, you realize what the Buddha says is true. Life, there is suffering. And when you feel that pain of suffering, you actually feel sadness and you feel sorry for yourself. And after this sadness and feeling sorry for yourself, you actually arise compassion. Yeah, rather than just this self-defeatism. This self-defeatism, rather than feeling sorry and compassion, would be a belief of a strong self lah. That's a very strong pride. Alright, because when you truly see suffering and you sort of surrender, not surrender to suffering and don't do anything, but rather realize the power of nature in this world. We always want to fight and overcome pain and suffering, and then when you really can't, you realize how powerless you are, and you actually start to surrender, to let go. that's when this compassion comes in. Yeah. Next, sympathetic joy. Having joy for one and others' goodness. So this would be quite hard, because in the past I had difficulty rejoicing for others. I did in the past, because I always wish, to be maybe, for example, a Dharma teacher who can have many people listen and to be able to share with them. But I'm so bad at getting to know anybody in Dharma centers or even the monks, because I'm quite reserved. I'm not very active in matters of monasteries or whatever. I'm not very known, right? And other people are able to go up there and speak and share, and I will have this, oh, that's nice, but I wish I could do that. So I couldn't really rejoice then. But then after, let's say when your heart chakra is open in meditation, then it will be possible to actually feel joy for another. Why? Because that's when you realize that love is love. Love does not require an object. When your heart chakra opens, metta opens in your heart chakra, then naturally you feel compassion and you naturally rejoice, because this is when you truly realize in your meditation that Brahmaviharas love does not require something for you to bring up this feeling at all. Actually, it's always in you. And it doesn't really require a self as well. And then last, equanimity, having a balanced, unbiased attitude. So equanimity is more than just being a balanced and being fair person, It would be being able to see gain and loss as being equal. Most of us cry when there's loss and separation, and we never appreciate the gain for very long, or the non-separation for very long. So when you sit in meditation, and if pain arises in your body, instead of getting up from your seat, see yourself appreciating this pain, because without pain, you wouldn't have known pleasure or happiness. So strive to see pain as equal as pleasures. And this is difficult, but that is what it means by having a balanced heart and mind. So the Brahmaviharas are qualities we apply to ourselves as well as towards others, right? So we learn to be friendly and compassionate to our own difficult feelings. Because if we cannot be compassionate to our own difficult feelings, it is very hard for us to be compassionate to others people's difficult feelings. We'll end up judging them. Yeah? Like, hey, how come I can get over this situation so fast, you can't? You're damn weak. We usually think like that, right? Yeah, so it's because we haven't seen compassion in ourselves, to ourselves. Yeah. So I want to add something about these Brahmaviharas. Actually, these Brahmaviharas, I realized that they are actually, when you combine these four things together, they actually mean unconditional love. There are four facets of unconditional love. When we love unconditionally, we have no favoritism. It does not require a subject-object matter, meaning I don't need a dog. I don't need a cute dog to bring out unconditional love. Yeah, I don't need a cute baby to bring out unconditional, because these are conditioned. I need a cute baby to bring out love, that's conditioned. Yeah, and unconditional love is an absolute truth. It's not a relative truth, because it does not require something for it to arise. Now, this unconditional love, this absolute truth, is a deep potential in all of us. Think about this. When we were very young, who taught us to love? Nobody. We just naturally love our mother, who is our first safety net of security. We feel safe, we feel loved, and we love in return as a child. Right? Children's love Children also have aversion, definitely. They can throw tantrums, right? But their love is a little bit more honest and pure than an adult's, I think. But think about it. How would you be able to learn to love? Did your mother say, hey, you must love me, huh? Because I'm your safety net here. I'm your number one safety, first line of security. You don't love me, I'm not going to give you milk, okay? No mother does that, right? Did a mother verbally teach a child how to love? No. No. So how does the child learn to love? Imitating the mother? The brain is not fully formed, right? So it's not intellectual. So then what is it? So to me, love has always been and always is within our heart. However, we were taught in this world, since we live in this world of relative truth, we think that love is conditional because of our environment. But actually, in actual fact, logically speaking, if you think about it that way, a cute baby who looks at the dog and starts petting it and loving it, where did that love come from? Love always is and always has been. Okay, so I just repeat that, right? So that you remember it. Okay, so coincidentally, Brahmaviharas, love, unconditional love, comes after renunciation. Isn't it interesting? So I would like to add that renunciation, you see, I don't want to use the word renunciation because it makes you think that you must go and be a monk or nun. No. When we talk about renunciation, it's renunciation of our heart. Yeah? Remember this previous slide, right? Renunciation of our heart. Inner renunciation is more important. Correct. So actually, you see, the precepts are actually cultivating loving, kind, compassionate heart. We abandon killing life. We abandon taking what's not ours. Yeah, we abandon, well, here unchastity would be for monastic. We abandon not cheating on our spouse. We're just cultivating love, compassion, equanimity. Okay, because when we do release and surrender, allow things to be the way they are by not wanting them to be the way we want them, which would mean that we allow the five aggregates to be the way they are, come and go, you naturally open your heart to unconditional love. Okay, so why are these four facades unconditional love? First, you feel the love, right? Metta. Second, there will be a unconditional love naturally comes with compassion, right? Because there's no biasness, which is equanimity, isn't it? There's no bias. I'm only like compassionate to this person I like, loving to this person I like. Because since it is unconditional, definitely it's equanimous. And because it's equanimous, you have joy when somebody get what they want or rejoice over something, right? Celebrate over something, even if they get the thing you want that you can't get. Because it's unconditional love, there's equanimity, love, and compassion. You definitely have joy lah. They all come together. So there are far and near enemies, okay, of the Brahmaviharas. We must be careful. Some people say, "Wow, I love you very much. Don't leave me," right? In those kind of romantic relationship, even in families, or with our parents or siblings, right? Because this love is actually greed and attachment. Okay, love that comes with condition, don't leave me. Okay, it's attachment. So of course, the bond between a mother and a child is very strong. They don't want separation. So the Buddha in the Metta chant, did say that, they strongly imply that a mother's love for the child is the closest we can get to unconditional love here on earth. Yeah, in a relative world, in a conditional world. But it still comes with an element of attachment, because a mother would love a child more than another mother's child. Yeah, so there's attachment there. Next, compassion, which is actually also empathy. You can empathize, right? So the near enemy of compassion, empathy, is actually pity and sympathy. Because when I pity someone or I have sympathy for someone, there is a bit of like pride and arrogance, like I'm a bit better off than you, I'm a bit of a higher level than you, so out of pity I help you, right? Like, you're not my level, oh you poor thing, all right, I'll help you. So it's not seeing the other as equal, not seeing the other's pain as your pain. Okay, that would be pity and sympathy. Not realizing that the other's pain is as much of a potential of pain in yourself. Then there is that separation, then there is pity and sympathy. That's not compassion. Next, sympathetic joy, having joy for one and others' goodness. So its near enemy is jealous appreciation. Okay, so jealous appreciation would be like, well, okay, great, congrats. Yeah, then you think, okay, next will be my turn. Actually, inside there's a bit of not very happy, that the other person got what you want, but you cheer yourself up. Never mind, it's okay, I can do better next time, I'll take over, right? So that this joy contains some form of jealousy. So equanimity, what is the near enemy of equanimity? Indifference. Many people learn Buddhism and think that detachment, passionlessness means detached, means indifference, means I don't care lor. Yeah, I don't care, I'm not a greedy person. They have lor, these people have a lot of money, so what? I don't care. Right? Then you think, wow, you're damn equanimous. No. Because equanimity must come with love, compassion, and joy for another person's what the other person have. Okay? So Brahmaviharas, there's a part of a text where the Buddha said that it just bring you to the highest Brahma realm lah. So many people in the Theravada circles especially, think that Brahmavihara is not good enough to liberate, okay, to liberate the heart and mind, the chitta. Well, that is because Brahmaviharas need to come with wisdom, which is the first aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path. The first aspect of Noble Eightfold Path is wisdom. Second, the second aspect is love, compassion. They are actually two wings of a bird, and we need to balance them to liberate our heart and mind. Okay. So number one, a person meditates spreading a heart full of love to all directions, abundant, expansive, limitless, free of enmity and ill will. There's no aversion. They enjoy this and find it satisfying. So you see, this is not very conditional really. To really enjoy and find it very satisfying, and you can do it the whole day. Or in your meditation, like you've got no time to meditate, sit, then you go out and walk, do your walk in the park. And while you do your walk in the park, you're actually spreading love. Okay, so again, you can't spread love to others when you can't have love for yourself, because true love, true unconditional love, there is no self and other. Therefore, first it has to touch the self and touch the other. Okay, so if they abide in that, committed to it, meditating on it often without losing it. See, so easy, right? Actually, the truth is meditation is very easy. You don't need to strictly sit on the cushion and make it and then you think, that's meditation. No, you can go out in the world, in the MRT trains, on the bus, wherever you are, and spread love throughout. Okay, and I shared before, if you can do this, walking around spreading love rather than aversion, hate, and your own selfish misery, you actually benefit the atmosphere, Mother Earth, a lot. Because like I say, even though we don't realize it, a lot of us are quite aware of our environment. Yeah. Okay, so you can meditate on it often without losing it. How do you do that? It means that this meditator can access this state easily And you can access this easily when you have really allow things to be, surrender the five aggregates to the law of nature. And when you have done that and know what it feels, you can access this state easily. Then the Buddha said, they die, they are reborn in the company of gods of Mara's host with a lifespan of 1 eon. And then he went on about the other aspects. Like, if you have full of compassion, then he repeated the same thing, right? So like I say, they're actually the same, they're actually one. But the Buddha is a very skillful teacher. He spread into 4 to help different people to learn the different aspects and facade, because you keep saying unconditional love, right? Which is very strong in Christianity, and I like that religion a lot. I like what Jesus said a lot. In order to have unconditional love, you must have forgiveness, you must be able to give. You see, it's very similar to what the Buddha taught. Actually, it's the same lah. So, but if you were only to just say unconditional love, people don't understand. So when you break it out into these 4 aspects, it's easier to understand. Then, if your compassion is very strong, then you see these 4 different facades of Brahmavihara becomes more and more subtle, right? Becomes deeper and deeper as well. Okay, so the deeper you are, then you will be reborn, right? If you're full of compassion, reborn in the company of gods, of streaming radiance with a lifespan of 2 eons. And then next, he said, joy, you spread it everywhere in the air, in the atmosphere around you. You often do it, feel satisfied. You can attain this state easily. You are reborn in the company of gods, replete with glory, with a lifespan of 4 eons. So you see, it's a deepening of the heart, of that unconditional love. Because love itself has high vibration. As it settles down, it's become compassion, joy, and then equanimity, right? Equanimity will be a very quiet kind of balanced love, right? Balanced unconditional love. Then when you're committed to it, meditate on it often without losing it, then you'll be reborn in the company of gods, of abundant fruit, with a lifespan of 500 eons. Then some people will think, oh, that means this person meditating on Brahmaviharas cannot liberate, cannot become Arhan or Buddha. Okay, so let's read on. What else did the Buddha say? An ordinary person stays there until the lifespan of these gods is spent. Then they go to hell, or the animal realm, or the ghost realm. So we don't need to see this in a supernatural way. You can just examine this in your own life. For an ordinary person who's untrained in right view, okay, meaning the 4 Noble Truths, or the 12 links of dependent origination, right, the 6 sense base and all that, they're not trained, then they generally are just very loving people, but their love is very open, very nice, and I'm sure you have met such people, in the world, but they're not trained in those. So then when something perturbs them, they get angry very easily. Yeah, they can be unreasonable too. That's when they enter the hell or the ghost realm or the animal realm. Because animal realm also, right, they are very protective of themselves, okay, or protective of certain things. So an untrained ordinary person would also be like that. Maybe not so selfish like normal person, because they are able to have these Brahmaviharas, but they are still protective over very certain things, and the anger, the need to protect, right, like an animal, right, may also come out. So that's why they say, right, when these feelings are spent, then that consciousness of Brahmavihara is spent, finish, like a swinging pendulum finish its swing, then they go to hell, animal, or ghost realm. So yeah, observe this in your everyday life. But a disciple of the Buddha stays there until the lifespan of those gods is spent. They are extinguished in that very life. This is the difference between a learned noble disciple and an unlearned ordinary person. So if you are a disciple of the Buddha, you understand the right view, you learn to see things from experience, then you can differentiate what is conditioned, unconditioned love. Yeah, because when there are times you don't always feel the Brahmaviharas, by the way. Okay, you don't. Maybe you can experience equanimity more, okay, And then, but the equanimity, this will be the fourth jhana, there still is a sense of self there. And when you can examine the six sense base, the six sense consciousness, and slowly examine them, differentiate them from what deathless awareness is, or what awareness is, open awareness, some people call choiceless awareness. There's so many different words. You can examine them when your mind is sharp through training of meditation, then you can slowly release, okay? And then there is liberation. So in daily life, you can do this. That is when a learned disciple. And when you talk about life and death matters, it also means that, when your job here is not finished, okay, working on liberating the mind, you could be reborn in one of these four states, which the Buddha is talking about: Brahma's host, gods of streaming radiance, gods replete with glory, gods of abundant fruit, even in that realm. Because you don't forget right view and whatever the practice is, then you remember you can let go there as well. Okay, it's possible. You don't have to do it all in this lifetime as a human being. All right, so I would just like to end the session here because I want to keep it short in case you fall asleep. Right, so that's all. We'll continue in the next session.